the upper echelon of female voices in modern music.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no chip.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today I'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most iconic female singers of the 2010s.
Let's make the most of the night like we're gonna die young.
For this list, we're counting down the most culturally relevant female artists of the decade. In other words, these are the women that set themselves apart through originality, creativity, and perseverance. Number 10. Demi Lovato.
Never put my love out on the line. Never said yes to the right guy.
Quietly emerging as one of the more formidable talents of the decade, this former Disney star certainly doesn't lack in vocal range. In fact, upon releasing the mega hit Skyscraper in July of 2011, Demi Lovato essentially announced her rediscovery while inspiring millions of fans.
I will be rising from the ground like a skyscraper.
And with more confidence came a more expansive aesthetic, complementing her refined vocals on both her 2013 self-titled release, along with the aptly titled Confident in 2015.
We're cool for the summer.
Effortless and cool, Demi Lovato has a fundamental skill at the heart of the pop star package. She's got a voice all her own.
I wish I could mean this, but here's my goodbye.
Number 9. Ellie Goulding.
It's a little blurry how the whole thing started. I don't even really know what you intended.
In the summer of 2009, this vocalist introduced herself to the world, and not long thereafter, there was Lights.
You show the lights that stop me, turn to stone.
Offering a breath of fresh air into a pop scene of Adele clones, Ellie Goulding's unique sound reminds of her femininity, while the albums Halcyon and Delirium touch fans with messages of individuality and the experience of being young.
I need to know I can still make explosions.
With a transcendental tone, Ellie was a natural choice for the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. And for millennial fans, a track such as Love Me Like You Do will surely stand the test of time as an iconic love ballad of the decade. Number 8. Miley Cyrus.
For those who don't know me, I can get a bit crazy.
With all of the controversy surrounding her public persona, it can be easy to forget that Miley Cyrus is a true professional when it comes to singing. Upon releasing 2010's Can't Be Tamed, she teased a bit as to what direction she was heading. But of course, the monster banger of the decade emerged via the anthemic Wrecking Ball, unveiling a new Miley to the world.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Time will ultimately reveal how a production like Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets fits into the decade as a whole, but it's hard to deny the natural talent of Miley Cyrus and her commanding stage presence.
You keep saying again and again.
Number 7. Nicki Minaj.
This one is for the boys with the booming system, top down AC with the coolest system.
After a trilogy of mixtapes in the late 2000s, the Harajuku Barbie was ready for a higher stage. And given the commercial success of 2010's Pink Friday, Nicki Minaj certainly didn't disappoint. And how could she with singles like Super Bass and Fly?
I wish today it would rain all day. Maybe that'll kinda make the pain go away.
Nicki emerged as one of pop's most polarizing figures, all the while embracing the publicity.
Oh my gosh, look at her butt.
But regardless of whether or not you're a fan of Nicki Minaj's vast array of contrived characters or her lyrical flow, she's capitalized on her opportunities while managing to sustain a career with her surrealist takes on life and love. Number 6. Ariana Grande.
I know what I came to do, and that ain't gonna change.
In the early part of the decade, this Florida native was known primarily for her role on Nickelodeon's Victorious. But like some of her fellow contemporaries, Ariana Grande made a sudden transformation from TV starlet into pop diva, albeit in her own graceful manner.
I got a bad boy, must admit it. You got my heart, don't know how you did it.
For her first two albums, Yours Truly and My Everything, Ariana mixed up a cutesy persona with some legit vocals. However, with the 2016 release of Dangerous Woman, she offered up a telling statement with the album's lead single. Ariana's got some of that old school soul, with a new school vibe, becoming one of the most polished vocalists of her time. Number 5. Adele.
I heard that you settled down.
Arguably the most talented vocalist on our list, this British singer hasn't been the most prolific. And there's a reason for that. Adele takes her time when breaking our hearts and lifting our spirits. With deeply personal works such as 2011's 21 and 2015's 25, Adele tells a story like no other. And with a set of pipes like hers, live performances take on another dimension.
When we were young.
Just her vocal aesthetic alone has already inspired a world of aspiring singers, as she's the epitome of powerhouse singing. The tone, the inflections, the range. Give Adele a mic and she can move almost anybody.
So hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times.
Number 4. Lady Gaga.
I stand here waiting for you to find the song.
Already a full-fledged pop star by the turn of the decade, Stephanie Germanotta stepped up her game even more with 2011's Born This Way.
I'm beautiful in my way, 'cause I make no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way.
For one, Lady Gaga was already anticipating emerging trends and issues in pop culture, and like any lasting artist, she stayed true to herself while building upon her progressive sound.
I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment of truth.
2013's Art Pop also topped the Billboard charts, but perhaps her biggest statement came in 2014, Cheek to Cheek with Tony Bennett.
The world has gone mad today,
And good's bad today,
and day's night today.
and black's white today.
What other artist today could follow up a #1 pop album with a #1 album of jazz standards? Answer: very few.
Anything goes.
Number 3. Rihanna.
Yellow diamonds in the light, and we're standing side by side.
Believe it or not, this Caribbean artist hit the scene in the year of YouTube's birth. Just as the world has rapidly evolved, Rihanna has transformed into a pop star unwilling to play by conventional rules.
It's getting coyote ugly up in here, not Tyra.
Releasing a trio of timely releases to begin the decade, she stepped away for a bit and came back ready to show herself to the world, literally and figuratively.
We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
In essence, Rihanna doesn't shy away from controversy, and she's certainly embraced a more liberal approach to selling her music. Most importantly, everybody recognizes a Rihanna vocal.
I believe all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart and my keys and my patience.
And though some millennial artists find it easy to talk that talk, she walks the walk at all times.
You see me do my da 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 da. So me better wah 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 wah. When you walk a la 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 la. When the car from my da 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 da.
Number 2. Katy Perry.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again?
In 2015, this American icon took the stage at the Super Bowl halftime show, and it wasn't to promote a new album. It was because Katy Perry's an international superstar.
I kissed a girl and I liked it. Taste of her cherry chopstick.
After all, she hadn't released an album since 2013's Prism, and given the vast amount of iconic singles released over just 2 albums prior to the NFL event, this woman is perhaps one of the most bankable singers of her era. With Katy, you get a little bit of everything: sex appeal, strong vocals, dynamic performances, and an innovative mind that understands her audience. Katy may not be the voice of her generation, but she just may be the most influential one. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Can't keep my hands to myself. Picking on the weaker man.
Number 1. Taylor Swift.
You can take me down with just one single blow.
Whereas artists like Rihanna and Katy Perry each influenced the music industry in different ways, this crossover phenomenon has forged her own path.
'Cause the players gonna play, and the haters gonna hate.
Of course, we're talking about Taylor Swift's willingness to engage the industry on musicians' rights, but it takes a singer of her magnitude to essentially change the world in which we live.
Now I'm lying on the cold, hard ground.
From a musical standpoint, she's been in the public eye since the spawn of YouTube. And in the 2010s alone, Taylor released 3 consecutive #1 albums.
But I've got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name.
Given the massive success of the eclectic 1989, she isn't just the top singer of the decade, she's one of the most powerful female musicians ever.
I shake it off, I shake it off.
So do you agree with our selections? Who is your favorite female singer of the 2010s? For more mind-blowing top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to MsMojo.
We're on each other.